So we talk about framing relationships. There's been a lot of use of the word framework this morning. Becky and Rob have used it, and I believe in it. The idea behind us of using restorative relationship-based practice is that it gives us a framework to hang practice on. The worrying thing when people talk about relationships is they think it means we get permissive, we rescue children, we make excuses for their behavior, the same as leaders. Rob used the phrase before about modeling. A little phrase you might want to just take away again is you have to model the model. Because if you're not modeling what you're teaching something different. So that little PDF I've just dropped into the group chat will have 2 words on there, one of challenge and one of support. Challenge for us means words like set limits, set boundaries, expectations, rules, consequences, all of those things. But it also, the supportive axis means nurture, compassion, empathy, kindness, dignity, respect. The bit to pull that together, if you can open it up, you don't have to open it, don't forget, but it's just so you've got a visual. If you do the high challenge and low support, we end up doing things to students. The bit I think you were describing then that moved me to drop that PDF in the moment, because I hope you don't mind, I just quickly searched for it and dropped it in, is if you do high support with relationships, but you don't provide the expectations, the challenge, the push, you can create dependency, and we do things for people, for students. The bottom one is the not one, self-explanatory. The cornerstone of my work is this whole notion of doing things with students, you know, in terms of that part. And I don't know whether that helps a little bit as a very practical thing to lift off. And I have got a video on my website. I know Becky mentioned ITL, who I do some work for, but my organisation is called L30 Relational Systems. It was going to be called L30 Restorative Systems until Rob nudged me and said, why aren't you using the word relational? I don't know whether you remember that, Rob, about 4 or 5 years ago.
I do, yeah.
And I said, you're right, so I changed it. So that's down to Rob. But on there is a video of me talking that through for about 4 or 5 minutes, that framework. But as you described that, I worry that relationships create, dependency rather than that interdependency and that bit about what I give you and what you give me. So I just, as you were describing that, I was thinking that what we should be doing with relationships is offering both challenge and support, just to start to push that relationship being framed in a healthy way.